wanted to give you guys some insight into sight fishing. It's something that I've excelled at because I'm really interested in it. And as a tournament angler, you're always going to come across a tournament a year or more where it's about sight fishing. And you want to better your skills on the water. There's no better way than to just go out there and do it. And I get a lot of questions, you know, how do you find them? How do you see them? Okay, first off, need a good set of polarized sunglasses. These are my brother's. I use them, and you can visually see these fish up shallow. And what you want to do is, beyond fishing for them, you just want to study them. You want to see the way they're acting, because there's a lot of fish that aren't catchable. And I can go down a bank, and within probably the first 10 seconds of seeing that fish, I could tell you if she's ready to be caught or not, or in the first minute. You know, I can tell by the behavior the way she's acting. And you know, the only way you're going to get that is to actually be out there and do it. So first, you find the fish, and the first thing you want to look for is how much does she swim off? Does she stay real close? What's she doing? Okay, if she stays on the bed and you basically almost ran her over, you're going to catch that fish. Okay, that's a good one. You want those. But a lot of times you're going to roll past that fish and it disappears. And depending on how long that fish disappears for, just sit there and wait. And if it's gone for 30 to a minute, you're better off to go find fish elsewhere. There's always other fish elsewhere. But if she comes back within 10, 15 seconds, she settles back down, then that's a fish you could sit there and spend the time on, because more than likely you're going to get her to bite. So once you set up for the fish, you're looking at her, that's when you start to go through your baits, your presentations, and how you're going to get this fish to bite. And the best approach that I go through, I actually carry a box with nothing but bedfish baits in it. There's like 3 of them that are my favorite. I have a flat dog, a pit boss, and a chigger crawl. Okay, and I do have other baits that I'll go through, but those are the 3 ones that I have confidence in that some way, some form, I'm gonna trigger that fish to bite. And a lot of bed fishing is angles, because sometimes these fish will get finicky in the way that they're acting, and the way you bring that bait across the bed, until you find that spot within the spot, they ain't gonna do anything. So first off, you're watching their behavior, and now you're watching their behavior to the bait. And once you make that first pitch, how that fish acts, does it shoot off, does it stay? You know, that's a big sign right there. If fish shoots off and doesn't come back for a little bit, then you know that might be a sign that she might be tough to catch. But if she hangs around and spins around and pays attention to that bait, you're more than likely going to get that fish to bite. So now it's just going through the process. You get the right bait out. Okay, but I'll bring one bait through, and if it doesn't pay attention to it but still stays there, I'll switch to the next bait, and I'll switch to the next bait until I see the way she acts, and you'll see almost her color change, you'll see her turn. That's when you know you got the right bait. Now it's all about that angle and getting that fish to react to it.
Now look back at the attempt before the catch. As you can see, we were off the spot where the fish had her eggs laid. As you can see, she circles right back into this spot, and on the time that she bit, that's where the bait was. That is what I mean, the spot within the spot. Finding that area in the bed that she is guarding, that could be the size of a 50-cent piece.
Here recently, the lakes were high, and the fish already had made their beds, and the water was dropping, and they was almost out of the water. I mean, inches from out of the water. So getting those fish to react, it was so weird. I'd never seen it before. You could bring your bait over top of them and they wouldn't move. And what I had to do was, and you'll see this a lot in the video, was bring that bait down, get it in position, and just kind of hop it. Not a lot, but just to get that bait to pop off the bottom in a quick, 2-inch hop. And what that does is that fish that was, not paying attention to it, now it has to react to that bait. Because what I would do is I'd bring that bait down across its face. So I would flip up past its head. This is the fish's head, and I'd flip the bait here. I bring that bait, and once it got to here, that fish could see it. I make that hop, and it would react to it. Them fish don't have hands, they don't have arms to hit it away. Their means of getting rid of something is, and that's what would happen. They would eat the bait.
Now, let me slow this down for you, because if you weren't paying close attention, as you can see, I make the bait hop with a quick jerk of my rod. And right after, I set the hook on the fish. I basically had to put that bait right in front of his face and hop it just to get him to react to it and finally get him to eat it.
And I had to do that to almost all of them, just to get them to react to it. And a lot, sometimes it's easier than that. But having that knowledge of that, you can make those fish turn to biters.
Nice one. Good job, baby.
Another big thing with sight fishing, always having the sun at your back. Sometimes it's not always the case and you can't, do it, but I try to, as much as I can, have the sun at my back and try to be as stealthy as possible. Wearing light clothing, kind of blend in with the sky and not getting too close. If I can stay back and barely see that fish, I just need to see a little bit of her. I don't need to see her the entire time. I want to see her in the bed, and that's about it. And once they know you're there, the game is on. They know that that's fake and they don't want to bite it, but they're biting it to protect their bed. So staying far back, staying stealthy, being sneaky, being quiet, everything in your boat being quiet. Those are just some tips and tricks to help you with your sight fishing.
Got it. Oh my gosh, it's dry. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, don't break. Don't break me up. Don't break me up. Oh, I got it. Watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out. Oh god, my line. My line. Okay.
She's in the grass.
Okay. Go to the other side. Okay. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out. Shoot it. Freaking giant. Get low.